because sometimes it's just nice to refresh what I'm going to be wearing each evening. I don't really like to have everything out all at once. So I am just kind of changing my color combination. Right now, as you can tell, I am very much into butter yellow. And I've been seeing it more and more in the stores, which is nice. This sweater, in fact, this little button sweater, this came from TJ Maxx, and it was part of a skirt set. So I'll show you the skirt, but the skirt pattern, I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I definitely purchased the whole set because of this sweater. And maybe I paid a little more than I would have typically paid for a sweater. But I mean, I can still wear the skirt with it. It's just the pattern on it is not one of my favorites because the florals just aren't what I would typically like to wear. So anyway, I'll show that to you, but I do need to put these, all of these away. I don't like having clothing on the floor as it is right now, but I need to put all of this away, and I feel like I am out of space in my, how did I run out of space in my bins here? What am I going to do? Oh no, we have too much stuff. I feel like, I'm just going to shove it back here. Okay, I feel like I should probably go through this, but it will likely be something I'll do once I move it to the new house. Oh, I can show this to you right now. So this is the skirt. See that pattern? So, I mean, it's cute, you know, and it goes. It just, I feel like it's just not me. So, but I think that it would be fun to wear sometime. And I actually like the way this top would look with it, probably more than the sweater. Maybe it's the combination is what I'm not too thrilled with. And I'm thinking I could probably put a green top with this too, if I had a green top, but I do not. I still don't have very many tops, and that is pretty wrinkled. I do need to iron it out. Anyway, I just hung all of these in here. Hey, this doesn't even go in here. My dressing gown. I just hung everything in here today because I was thinking that I would iron it, which I probably should do. So, like, I'm looking at some of my skirts and I'm thinking, well, I won't be wearing this for a while because, and I received a lot of questions about whether or not I'm still working outside of the house. And as of yesterday, I tendered my resignation and it was effective immediately. So I no longer work there. And I talk a little bit more about it over on Patreon, but it's really good to just come back home and to feel like I don't have to have the pressures of what, you know, I was having to experience at work and everything like that. I mean, I don't go into too much detail. You know, you really have to be careful about what kind of things you say. Especially because you don't know who's watching, and also because with a public company you just really have to be mindful of stuff like that. So I'm not really going to go into detail about everything, but I am so happy to be able to have the time now, which is something that I alluded to in my last video that I did, that I'll be having some more time. Okay, so I feel like my wardrobe is going to change a little bit again. Now I'm not going to be so focused on, well, what kind of things would look good to wear to work. You know, you feel differently when you're staying at home. Not to say that you know, shouldn't put effort in, or that you shouldn't dress up, and I love dressing up even if I'm home. But for instance, like these dresses, these would probably be more of something that I would wear maybe to worship service, or, you know, like if I'm invited out to dinner somewhere, something like that. I don't know. But for everyday, I mean, I could wear them every day. There's nothing wrong with wearing them every day. I'm just saying that when I'm around the house, wearing something like this, a linen skirt, this nice little sweater, this is more my cup of tea right now. Or these kind of linen, you know, skirt sets and dresses, cotton dresses. I have a few cotton dresses. Yeah, I'm looking at these. I really need to iron these dresses, but I don't know. Things are going to change, that's for sure. Things are going to change now that I'm going to be home. I'm so excited. I'm excited to have my time back. I feel like such a weight has been lifted. I can't even explain it, but I do believe that since I started, yes, my channel has suffered, but it was actually going downhill before I moved here. It got a little bit of a kick when I did share some moving videos, just because, you know, people like the sensational stuff and whatnot, but it's been going downhill for a few years now, especially with subscriber count. Like, you get some, you gain some, you lose some, but this has been, over the past couple of years, this is like the first time where it's kind of stagnant, and then now it's definitely like going down. So that's why I was just stating some facts in my last video, not to complain about it, just to point out that this is where I am. And yes, things can feel like it's not worth it, but believe me, I know that producing the content that I have has been worth it, especially because of the feedback that I've gotten over the years, and the private emails I receive, just, you know, people's stories. That's what I love to hear. There has been a lot less engagement. It could be the way that I share things. I mean, I'm not one to say, well, it's not me, it's you guys. I wouldn't say that. And I wouldn't say you guys, I would say you ladies anyway. But I know that there are things that I've struggled with along the way, and most recently it's been because I've been working outside of the home and trying to balance that with creating content, but feeling as if I've had no creative energy, etc., etc. So that's just like what I wanted to share with you, and that if I am going to be including Jorge, which, by the way, I'm still planning on doing that. I know some of you don't like him in it. Some of you say that, you know, I don't need him in it at all. I think that that is something that so many did enjoy, but I would be sharing it differently. For the past 2 videos, he was like at the start, but in the future, I plan on, if I do share him in my videos, it would be more like, you know, after I did some talking, after I shared some homemaking stuff, things like that, that I might throw a little bit of what he may be up to, whatever the man of the house is up to, later on in the video. And so who knows, maybe it would just be something that I'll keep for the end, and you would have to stick around to be able to see him. But it is fun to start thinking about the direction of things, and I definitely want to get back into, you know, just all the homemaking stuff, and yeah, I mean, you know, the stuff that so many of you are here for. So that's my plan, but I just want to share that within the wardrobe. So okay, time to go iron some of this stuff, and I should probably iron this skirt as well. So I will. Quite a mess in this laundry room, but the comforter is clean. I have sheets that are dry. The preacher and his brother-in-law will be coming over tonight. They are moving the first load up to the house, so I want to make sure that the beds are nice and ready. I already have the guest bedroom bed ready, but I need to work on what's going to be the second guest bedroom. It's one of my daughter's bedrooms, and for his brother-in-law. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to make the bed and get that done, and then I'll do some ironing, I guess. Come on, let's go to the room. As many of you know, we will be moving from this house very soon, but we still get to keep it in the family, which has been such a blessing. And I've received a few questions at times about how we're going to be utilizing this home. And in addition to, of course, us visiting it all the time and being able to stay here whenever we want to and enjoy all 4 seasons, which is just wonderful, it is also a place that we have offered the preacher and his wife to host any family and friends that come into town. You see, they're going to be leaving everything that they have to come and work with us, which we are so grateful for. And at the end of this video, I do share a bit of a peek inside of their new house and just all the renovations that happened and what it looks like now. And yet it's quite small. It's actually the perfect size, in my opinion, for raising a family when they're very young. It reminds me a lot of our first home that we purchased, and actually where I started this channel, though I think most of those videos are private now, so if you go back to the very beginning, you might not be able to see that house. But it was perfect for that time, especially when you have little kids. It makes it so much easier to clean the house and, just care for a space like that. So anyway, they're not going to have a lot of added sleeping space for guests. And so we just told them this home, you can consider it yours as well. If you have family, friends, anybody that comes into town and they need a place to stay, by all means, allow them to stay here. And, when you have more, it makes it so much nicer to be able to offer things to other people. And it puts you in a position to kind of relieve some stress for other people. So that's one of the benefits of keeping this home. In addition to other things, I mean, the list goes on as far as how we plan on utilizing this home. And it's also going to be a wonderful home for the girls to be in as they get older, when they are going to college here, and just all the plans that they have, Lord willing. It's been quite a journey. Over the past few years, I've changed. Life has changed. And maybe you've felt that in the tone of my videos, in the pace, in the pieces I've chosen to share, and the ones I've held back. But through it all, one thing has remained constant. I've continued to show up. That hasn't always been easy. There were seasons where my heart was heavy, my hands full, and my voice unsure. But I kept going, because deep down, I believe there's beauty in the everyday, even when it's quiet, even when it's messy. Your recent comments, sharing what brought you here and what made you stay, have moved me. You reminded me of who I was when I started, of what stirred my heart to film my days and offer a bit of light to others. But here's the truth. That woman you first met is still here. She's just lived a bit more life. I've raised 4 children through change and uncertainty. I've said painful goodbyes to my sister, my Grammy, and I've walked through seasons of betrayal, loneliness, and the aching quiet of the early empty nest. And still, somehow, the Lord has been faithful to steady my steps. This platform, it can be beautiful, and it can be brutal. It invites us to speak and tempts us to compare. Some days I long for the quiet so deeply. I consider never posting again. Other days, I feel called to keep going, to serve, to share, to trust that someone, somewhere, needed to hear just that one thing. If it weren't for God anchoring me, I would have lost myself years ago. Lately, I've been reflecting on what I truly love, what brings peace and purpose into my days, and I keep returning to this truth. I was made for homemaking. I was made to nurture, to create beauty, to serve the ones I love, not just in theory, but in the real, lived rhythm of daily life. That's why I've returned home, in every sense of the word. I recently tendered my resignation at work. I needed to make space again for creativity, for ministry, for the kind of motherhood and womanhood that doesn't rush past the moments that matter most. To some, I may seem inconsistent, like a loose cannon, but I know what this is. It's the cost of realignment, of choosing peace, of surrendering to what God is asking of me. There is a season ahead that looks different. It's one I never expected, a season of provision, of healing, of legacy. I won't apologize for it. I won't dim it to be more relatable. I will be honest about where I am and grateful for what I've been given. You've been with me through so much, through moves and mourning, through changes in content, in surroundings, in heart. And if you've ever felt unseen because your life looks different, I understand. If you stayed because you saw the heart behind the home, then you know this was never just about aesthetics. It's always been about intention. To those who've supported the planners, the aprons, the books, Patreon, the magazine, thank you. You've helped build this alongside me. You've reminded me that faithfulness in the small things matters. I don't know what this next chapter fully holds, but I know who holds me. And I trust that every step, even the hard ones, will work together for good, because I love God. So thank you, truly, for being here, for caring, for believing in a life of meaning, of giving, of serving. This is the lady of the house, returning home. Let's keep making the everyday beautiful together.